Happy Thursday, everyone. Cat's off today, but Julie Banderas is sitting in for her, which definitely increases the average blood alcohol content for the panel.
Yep.
We went from 0.05 to the point of no return. Pete Hegseth is here. Yeah. Good to see he's relaxing his dimples and took some time off from parenting. He has so many children, he and his wife just bought a new house. So, big news, a Republican has flipped a House seat in the deep blue South Texas. That's scary to Dems who thought the only seat flipping would be in a gender-neutral bathroom. Is this an indicator of a coming red wave? Maybe, and it's got nothing to do with the tampon shortage.
A tasteless sexist would say.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I don't stand for that kind of humor. But let's ask the folks at The View, which no one has ever said in the history of the universe. Is there a red wave coming?
The red wave is coming. Republicans are going to win the midterms short of something unforeseen that I cannot predict now.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Let's wait and see what the people. Let's wait and see what the people voted.
Yeah, you know what I love about The View? It reminds people every day not to eat lead paint chips. But you got to remember, Joy Behar thought that her going on a sex strike would make men change their minds. And they did, to vote Republican. Look at Republican Mayra Flores. She won that seat in South Texas, the first win there in 150 years. That's a long time. It's like 2 Julie Banderases. Or a half a Joe Biden. She flipped an 84% Hispanic district red. And I bet it's because the liberal policies from Washington are tearing our community apart.
But liberal policies from Washington are tearing our community apart. As the wife of a Border Patrol agent, I pray for his safety now more than ever. We must secure our borders and keep our families safe.
Well, she's not only smart, but attractive. Who does she remind me of in that regard? I remember when that was taken. Flores' seat was previously held by a Democrat who stepped down to become a lobbyist after realizing he'd lose in a red wave. So he took the easy way out, like when I hide behind Tyrus to avoid Kilmeade in the hallway. And she's now the first congresswoman ever to be born in Mexico. So I'm sure AOC must find this historic first pretty empowering. So let's go to her for comment. And then you hear that Elon Musk voted for Flores, which prompted Democrat Congressman Jamal Bowman to accuse Musk of supporting white supremacy. Yeah, that's logic. Vote for a woman of color who's born in Mexico, and that makes you racist. If Jamal got any dumber, you know, he could be on The View. Flores earned an endorsement from Governor Greg Abbott, and guess who's trailing him in the governor's race by 20 frickin' points? Yes, go to your screen right now and scratch. Scratch, what does that smell like to you, viewers? Loser. We would have accepted Axe body spray. This guy couldn't win a coin toss if he got to call both sides. Meanwhile, Biden's approval rating with Hispanic and Latino voters sits in the mid-20s. That's the worst of any ethnic group. Geraldo's mustache is more popular. And for good reason. Joe's embracing of hard left policies has abandoned decent people of every pigment in every race. They said he was a uniter, and now people of all races think that Captain Poo Poo Pants sucks. And it undermines everything racist Dems have been saying for years about changing demographics. They thought Mexicans would be dupes for their hard left tripe. How bigoted is that?
A lot of other states are heading toward increasing diversification, toward demographic changes that mean a less red state future for them.
I really think because of demographic changes in this country, I think that the Democratic Party is going to win Texas moving forward, and the Democratic Party is going to be in power for the next 30, 40 years.
Texas have had on this sort of long-term project of trying to take some red states across the Sun Belt and flip them blue as demographic changes are taking place there.
And the demographic change that's happening in America right now gives the upper hand to Democrats.
Wow, it's almost like they are, dare I say it, white supremacists in their thinking. The assumption that every brown person will fall in line and vote for crap if they were bribed with free stuff. Dems are like saying, you know, sure, they're pro-life and religious, but give them free dental and we'll own their asses. But they forgot that Hispanics aren't as progressive as the white liberal assumes. It's why you only hear clueless whites using the phrase Latinx.
It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why? They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported.
All right, Gramps. Fact is, you don't have to do much. He really is a godsend. Fact is, Mexicans are just like anybody else. They don't want to be victims of crime. That's why many left Mexico. They want to afford gas and food and drink water that doesn't double as a laxative. But the left wants them to drop $100 grand on an electric car and then eat crickets. Also, unlike the left, they go to church, they believe in God, they're pro-life, they think family's a good thing. They're basically Eisenhower Republicans. They understand the hierarchy of needs. See the little chart there? That in life, stuff like food and family and energy, that comes first. And that's a far cry from pronouns, statue toppling, and insurrection porn. The least important thing on that chart, self-actualization. We don't even know what that is. But the Republican Party gets this, that we're all united by common sense, a working knowledge of Home Depot, as well as the pleasures of a fine tequila. But the Dems, thanks to their delusional embrace of wokeism, have it backwards. Here's the left's hierarchy of needs. Call everyone racist, blame everything on America, oppression, never bathe. Here's Joe's hierarchy of needs. Blame other people for failures, bail out Hunter, watch Murder, She Wrote, find ice cream, nap. It's actually not bad. No wonder the Dems chase a pointless. That's because without structure, work, or family, you end up with moronic platitudes. You will own nothing, but so what? You'll have 64 genders to choose from, and the government will mail you a crack pipe. That's the Hunter plan. Hell, the last time a Democrat made something, they became a Republican. So, who is Mayra Flores? I'm sure by November, she'll be the new face of white supremacy. Or for my Spanish-speaking friends at home, la nueva cara de la supremacía blanca. Did I do that? Let's welcome tonight's guest. Author of the children's book, Why Is Mommy Napping at 2 p.m.? Fox News anchor Julie Banderas.
I thought you were going to her. I was like, she wrote a book? How nice.
He's so patriotic, the Statue of Liberty once hit on him. Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend and author of the new book, Battle for the American Mind, Pete Hegseth. And a brand new guest. She knows campaigning like I know complaining. Tag Strategies VP and former Director of Press Communications for Trump's re-election campaign, Aaron Perini. And he needs a steamroller to iron his shirts. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus. Julie, what is your nationality? Your last name is Banderas.
Well, actually, my last name's Bidwell. Banderas is made up. Yep, that's true. You heard it here first.
You appropriated.
Banderas is made up because it's a long story, but my last name's Bidwell, but okay. I'm part Colombian, part British.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
I'm a mix.
You're a mess is what you are. You're a mutt.
A hot mess.
Are you surprised by her win?
No, she lives in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, they like legal Hispanics there.
Yes.
So they like her.
Yes.
And as a legal Hispanic and the daughter of migrant workers, she is a perfect example of why Republicans are definitely going to be taking over Texas because they don't want to see illegals in there anymore. And she's a perfect example of why Democrats should probably just retire at this point.
Where are you now? This is your wheelhouse. Just coined that phrase. Do you see a red wave? How many seats do you see?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I think you're probably looking at more like 40-ish seats that'll flip. You're not going to see like a 60, 70, 80 number because redistricting, right? There aren't as many middle-of-the-road seats where there are soft Dems for Republicans to flip the seats. There is going to be a red wave. I fully believe that Kevin McCarthy is the next Speaker of the House. I think the Senate is very much in play, but not as much as the House. I think the House, you're like 95% chance we're flipping that. The Senate, it's a tougher map. See,
that to me then is not a red wave at all. That should be expected. When you're out of power, you're supposed to win, right? That happens when Trump was in, then the Democrats rose up. When Obama was in, the Republicans, I mean, if they can't get 50, 60 seats, they're blowing a big opportunity, I would think. And I'm no expert.
Well, that's fair, but it's also
You should have said, no, Greg, you are an expert.
Well, all right, no, Greg, you are an expert.
Thank you. Wow.
In some things.
Yes, not many.
I mean, political math, that's up to you whether or not you want to say you're an expert on that. But I can say that it's going to be a tougher road to get to 50 or 60. Just because, I mean, you have to look at...
I didn't factor in the redistricting.
Yeah. You got to look at, you look at Jersey, you look at New York.
Do I have to?
No.
Okay. Pete, congratulations on the new book.
Thank you very much,
I'm already...
Greg. Thank you.
I noticed that you quote Tucker, but not me, and I'm not even in the index, which means I'm not in the book.
It's a family book, Greg. I can't... Your material's not usable.
It's always about family with you, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
Pipe down. All right, Pete. Yay or nay, red wave?
Yay on the red wave. If you think about the Senate map, and correct me if I'm wrong, 2022 means senators that were elected 6 years ago. 2016 was a good year for Trump. A lot of Republicans brought in. You're defending those seats, so there's not as many Democrat pickups to be had on the map. So I don't think that's indicative of whether or not it'll be a wave. The House is more indicative of that, in that it's up every 2 years. Mayra Flores, I mean, you look at her ad, I'm the wife of a Border Patrol agent, and who lives this every single day. And I love what you said. It is inherently racist to assume that a certain skin color will vote a certain way. And as you said, I believe you said Captain Poo Poo Pants?
Yes.
And
not as good
his
as Bidwell,
party will be finding that out. When you totally deprioritize the things that matter in everyone's everyday lives, even if your party's gone hard left, which they have, voters end up rejecting that. Just ask the DAs in San Francisco and Los Angeles.
That's a very good point. What do you think, Tyrus? Is it racist to have voted for her?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yes.
They said so several times.
Yeah, she's the new face of white supremacy.
Oh, they needed one. And
Larry Elder did a good job for a while there.
Larry did his part, but his heart just wasn't in it.
No, he wasn't. He tried. He tried.
You know, so hopefully it's a friendlier, more focused white supremacist party with
I think
her at the
we're
helm.
opening it up to women and Mexican women.
Yeah, and us blacks. So it's really, it's a whole new white supremacist. I mean,
Exactly.
it's shocking. Kind of miss the old days. But I just always just drives me crazy when they say, and the Latinos have a problem with the president. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Which group is he above 20?
Yeah.
Like, there's not one. No one's claiming him.
Yeah.
That's the one thing funny about white people. You will sell each other out. You will not stick together. Like, Biden's going down with the ship, and the white people are acting like he's having fun on a ride at the beach. No one's going in. They're like, oh, look at him. Huh?
Yeah,
Nope, nope.
that is so true. Yeah, he's like that one stray soft.
You guys are cold-blooded, man.
Yeah. Oh, well. We will see, shall we? I just coined that phrase as well. Up next, Dems let thugs go free, as they say, protection for me, not for thee.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.